It seemed like you were able to deny the Giants the corridor and the speed and the transition. Is that how you reckon the Giants are gettable like that?
No, I don't think I'll go into how I think they're gettable because they got hold of us. But I mean, they kicked 3 goals from our forward 50 in the last quarter, and we know that they're really high. A team that is capable of scoring from the back half, and we shot ourselves in the foot. We didn't probably get it quite deep enough in the last quarter, particularly early, and then we made some mistakes, and they had a couple of pretty special bits of play and pretty special players doing a couple of things that obviously got them there. But I think there was no surprises in the game. They played the way we thought they would, and we played the way that they thought we would, I'm sure. And it was a good arm wrestle for the vast majority of the game. It never looked like it was going to get out of hand either way, and just a bit too good at the end.
You guys have been really good yourself scoring from the back half, but the Giants were able to slow some of that ball movement, especially near the end of the game. Is there anything about the connection between the lines that you saw out there that you might need to work on for future weeks?
No, I mean, I think we lost the aerial battle, so it made going quick a bit of a challenge. So I think the contested marks was 5 to 15 or something like that. So we struggled to get a contest win at different areas, so we had to control the ball a little bit more. But I still think we played quite a potent style of footy in the last quarter. I think Carl went for a really good, dangerous kick right up the middle to Jai, and those kicks started to come off. We started to move the ball pretty well, but we just weren't able to just get far enough away. And we know they're a good side and capable of scoring quickly, and we take our lessons. And I mean, when you play against good sides like this, we've been involved in lots of close games this year, and for the majority of them, we've stuck to the plan and played really well and been able to win the majority. But today they were a bit too good.
It seemed like you mentioned Carl before. He was playing like that deep spare in that first half, first 3 quarters as sort of alpha deep spare, and the other guys are having a bit more freedom to press forward. Would you say that's broadly the defensive way that you guys like to attack?
I actually don't know what you're talking about with an alpha. I don't know.
Was it deep spare or?
No, I think for the vast, we generally play. Carl was pretty high today, and he's a guy who we like to use his foot skills as much as we can. But I mean, I think they're a dangerous side. I think Daniel's had 12 touches in the last quarter, and was really influential in the game. And I think if there were lessons to learn from that, other than you have to be good all the time against the best sides, some of it was around the players, key players for them having key moments. There was one where Toby Green wins a centre bounce and then he wins a forward 50 stoppage with a goal. Obviously the Hogan one late. Those key players, for them being able to curtail them at the right time consistently enough was a challenge that was a bit too much for us today.
Yeah, it seemed like the turnover scoring that was going very well for you in the first 3 quarters really dried up as GWS visibly started playing on pretty much at all costs out of defence. Were you prepared for that sort of, throwing caution to the wind, given they're down a few goals? How do you sort of...
Yeah, sounds like you heard our 3/4 time. I mean, we knew. I mean, GWS, they're a really well coached, really well drilled, really organised side. We know that if they can get run and carry and handball game going, they're number 1 handball metres gained by a big margin. We're able to restrict that for the majority of the game, but in the last quarter they doubled down on it, which we suspected they would, and it was just a bit too much for us. We just missed a couple of key tackles. We just got our crumbing wrong in the forward 50, and they were able to get through us. But it was what we predicted. They were just a bit too good for us, really.
Just a more positive one, Jack Johnston's kicked 4 goals while seemingly playing a pretty complex role, dragging key defenders out of position and so forth. How useful is his experience and his history of playing those sacrificial roles?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jack's been enormous for us, whether that's on field or off field for this year. His leadership, and he's really an extra coach for us, whether that's in the coach's box or during the week with some of the younger players, or whether that's when he actually plays on game day. I think his game understanding was really high, and today he was able to hit the scoreboard and made the most of his chances, because we know the role he plays is really team orientated, and goal kicking is obviously the bonus. So I was pleased he was able to come back in and play a really important role for us.
You hear about in the press a bit that goals means a key forward's doing well. What do you take out of a good game from you know, a Chol or a Gunston or one of your bigger forwards? When they're doing what means that they're playing a good game?
I mean, I think, you know, tackles in your forward 50 and being able to, you know, time in forward half and being able to hold it in there, I think is always the things that you're looking for. I think, you know, Buckley was able to have a bit of an influence on the game today. I think he took four contested marks. So there's some challenges like that. When we're at our best, we're not allowing key opposition marks. Obviously, they're hitting the scoreboard, but time in forward half was a challenge for us for large parts of today. Really, we struggled to get it out of their back half, and we just couldn't turn the ball over in our front half today the way that they could, particularly early. I think they had 16 front half turnovers at half time. So, that was an area of the game that we just couldn't seem to get right.
Centre bounce towards the end of the game. You guys dominated the clearances from the centre bounces, but I think they scored 33 points in the end from their 8. Is that conversion of winning more of the ball but scoring maybe a little bit less, getting that you know, from Meek to Newcombe or whatever and escaping? Is that something you guys have been working on in the last few weeks? Or?
I mean, we always centre bounce has been an enormous part of the game for the last few years since the 666 rule was obviously brought in, and I think if you look at, I think we were plus 20 odd for hit outs. But clearances were about even, so we didn't get the most from Meekie's work today, and some of that. I mean, they're a really good side, aren't they? So you're going to have challenges. You're not going to get every aspect of the game on your terms, and the challenge for us is we just couldn't stop their scoring late in the game, and it was more the full ground transitions that were, you know, when it's in your forward 50, you really don't like conceding goals from there, and we conceded 3 pretty early on in the last quarter, and they're the things that hurt you in the end.
Let's take one more.
Can we ask one? Sorry, first time in a press conference. I guess the season's not over, but what can you learn from that game today?
I mean, I think the standard you have to hold yourself to is so high. The season and the competition is so even. It's not a technical or tactical lesson that we have to learn. It's one about standards. If you want to play against the very best sides as a whole football department, whether that's coaches, whether it's players or staff, we need to be able to play and help the players play at the highest possible level they can for 4 quarters every single week, because 3 quarters, as we learnt today, is not enough, and 3 quarters of a season is what we're relying on being enough for us, because the first quarter was obviously not what we would hope for. So right now, I hope the season is still in our hands. We play against a Carlton side who are going to feel very similar to us. They'll be licking their wounds after a loss last night, and it's a game I'm sure everyone's looking forward to, and it can't come quick enough, to be honest, because I'd like to get over this one.
Thanks, guys.
It's a great first question, by the way.